everyone. Look forward to your company next time on The Chase Australia.
Tonight, Michael McCormack to support mining quarantine camps. A cyclone watch for Bowen. Beaches closed with box jellyfish discovered. And a study to stop illegal dumping.
Across Mackay, the Whitsundays and the Coalfields, this is 7 News with Joanne Desmond.
Good evening, thanks for joining us. The Deputy Prime Minister has announced his support for quarantine camps at regional Queensland mine sites. But the local LNP state member doesn't agree, calling on Scott Morrison to rule out the idea at the next National Cabinet meeting.
The industry kept the Queensland economy alive in the height of a global pandemic.
The resource sector's been the shining light in Queensland right throughout the course of this pandemic. It's basically continued to function without a hiccup.
Mining companies are now being offered as a solution to the problems with COVID quarantine hotels, and the LNP's member for Burdekin is furious.
I think this is a case where the Premier wants to get it out of her backyard, wants to punt it out into rural regional Queensland. Well, I have a clear message for the Premier. Not on my watch.
Dale Last claims regional healthcare such as the Moranbah Hospital couldn't cope with a COVID outbreak.
We're flat out finding a doctor to service some of our communities in rural regional Queensland, let alone managing something like a quarantine facility.
But the Deputy PM supported the proposal during a visit to central Queensland today.
I think if we're going to get seasonal workers into place to pick fruit and to do other jobs, and certainly the resource industry is something that an industry that obviously could well do.
It's not yet clear whether mining camps in the Bowen or Galilee basins are part of the plan. The Isaac Council refused to comment today, claiming there's been no contact with the state government or discussion around the idea. It will be debated at the National Cabinet meeting on Friday. Ashley Dwan, 7 News.
A cyclone watch has been declared for Bowen as Tropical Cyclone Kimi tracks south. It intensified to a Category 2 system this afternoon, prompting a watch zone between Ayr and Bowen. Residents could see flash flooding as well as gale force winds of up to 120 kilometres an hour tomorrow. The system is expected to weaken off the coast between Hinterabrook Island and Townsville tonight or tomorrow. However, there is still a possibility it will make landfall. Deadly box jellyfish have been discovered at several beaches across Mackay, prompting an urgent call from surf lifesavers to suit up. The stinger at Imeo was the size of a fist and big enough to kill an adult.
A red flag was put up at Imeo Beach as a warning of the potential danger lurking in the water.
You make it to the shore and you're still screaming, you probably will survive. It's when it hits you in the water and your body fully shuts down from the instant pain. That's when you're in trouble.
The venom from a box jellyfish is considered to be among the most deadly in the world, but it seems not everyone is taking the threat seriously.
Literally taking their life in their hands.
Imeo surf lifesavers caught their first box of the season yesterday. The stinger was found just metres from unprotected swimmers. Another intruder was discovered in Serena. Both beaches were closed immediately. And now surf lifesavers are pleading with the public to prevent future stings.
Stinger suits are the seatbelts of the surf. You don't get in a car and not think, I won't put my seatbelt on.
Ross G says some are still hesitant to slap on a suit, but he's warning the consequences are for life.
Lifetime scars on your legs or torso should change that mindset.
Paramedics say if you get stung by any marine stinger, timing is everything.
First thing is to have the person out of the water. Be very careful when carrying someone because if there are adherent tentacles, you will also get stung.
Ashley Dwan, 7 News.
7 police officers from the Mackay station have tested negative to COVID-19 after coming into contact with a suspected case. Police were called to a disturbance at the Mackay Base Hospital on Saturday morning after reports of a 19-year-old man acting aggressively. He left the scene before officers arrived and then took himself to the police station with flu-like symptoms. The man was isolated as a precaution and has also returned a negative result. The state and federal governments are being called on to fast-track their renewable policies to bring more jobs to regional Queensland. A new report estimates more than 900 positions could be created in the sector within the decade if more ambitious targets are set.
Australia is on track to cut emissions by 28% before 2030. But some argue the planet and regional communities will lose if we continue with business as usual.
If the economic recovery is to really be sustainable, then we need to be looking at what are the new emerging industries that Queensland can benefit from.
Environmental group Solar Citizens says 925 renewable jobs could be available to regional Queenslanders by 2030, and this could grow to more than 2,700 the following decade. But it will only become reality if solar and wind resources are doubled.
If we go beyond our 50% by 2030 renewable energy target, then we'll see the jobs and economic investment really start to flow.
The group says all levels of government need to have a clear plan to transition to clean energy.
Queensland has a lot of new economy minerals that are needed for renewable energy.
The state government hasn't said whether it'll boost capacity, but is confident its current target is achievable.
We've had expressions of interest for almost 200 further renewable energy projects.
Meanwhile, the country is projected to beat the Paris Agreement by 403 million tonnes. A spokesperson for the Federal Energy Minister says emissions are coming down at a rapid rate. Taylor Larson, 7 News.
The Isaac region has become a dumping ground, and now council is cracking down on those who leave their rubbish in the wrong place. It's launching a new study to find the root causes behind illegal dumping.
It's an eyesore, but some people think nothing of tossing their rubbish out of the car and onto the side of the highway.
People continue to consistently leave their rubbish across the region and the broader region, and it's just not acceptable.
Illegal dumping has been a problem in the Isaac region for quite some time, but now council is determined to curb the bad habit.
And it's about understanding what drives people to do this unsightly and offensive behaviour.
Last month, 4 people were fined a total of $8,500 after they illegally left 15 tonnes of waste in Moranbah. The mayor says that was the last straw.
I see it most times when I'm on the main highways, the arterial roads, in and out and across the region. From a personal perspective, you can't not see it.
It's also a lasting danger to the environment.
Those things don't degrade very quickly and they continue to leach chemicals into the local environment.
Council aims to change the perception that dumping saves money while also making it more difficult to access sites that are often used illegally. But some aren't convinced it will make a change.
It can provide an education resource, but part of the problem is that, you need to enforce the rules that are around dumping.
Jade Richards, 7 News.
The pandemic has brought on a bumper year for Hay Point real estate, with buying demand rising almost 80%. But its forced prices up, making it more difficult for those wanting to enter the market.
With the beach at your doorstep and plenty of room for a growing family, it's easy to see why so many buyers have their sights set on Hay Point. Realestate.com says the area recorded a 78% increase in demand in 2020.
We're getting inquiry from all over the country. I even had one from the States last week.
Citysiders made the sea change as more people began working remotely, while others used government incentives such as the First Home Buyers Grant as a chance to break into the market.
The cost of borrowing's never been this cheap.
I think I would have sold 11 or 12 homes to tenants last year that never ever thought they were going to buy a house.
It's a similar story in Airlie Beach, where demand grew more than 70%.
You're paying now what you were in 2008, so that does make it quite attractive.
But the growth has forced prices up. The median sale price climbed 12% in the past year.
It definitely does make it a little bit harder if we continue to see this trend.
Experts aren't sure how long the buying frenzy will last and say now is the time to act.
Even though it might not be for a few years, the next move in interest rates is probably more likely to be up, and that will increase your mortgage repayments.
Taylor Larson, 7 News.
Ahead tonight in 7 News, doctors prepare to move to digital prescriptions, and seafood lovers urge to give flake a break.
Just fly away, away, oh, 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 oh.
into a new year with Home and Away. Starts Feb 1 on 7.
If you're worried about your actions or relationship, contact Men's Line for free confidential advice and counselling, online and by phone 24/7. There's no place for abuse or domestic violence. Help is here. Authorised by the Australian Government, Canberra.
Welcome to the Athlete's Foot, where it's easy to get back to school shoes. For safe fitting in store, this mum made an appointment on our website. She's like, how good is this? Book it in and show up at a time that suits me. These guys joined our virtual queue to save waiting time. And Dad says it's the perfect way to get school shoes. And sports shoes with MyFit 3D for the perfect fit, or get fitted at home with MyFit Virtual. Choosing how to get fitted for back to school at the Athlete's Foot? Now that's fit.
iSelect can't help with your naked partner walking past your big presentation, but we could help shrink your electricity and internet bills while you're stuck at home. Compare, select and save with iSelect.
Get your Woolies worth with great weekly specials like 40% off your favourite air care brands, including Glen 20, Ambipur and Organic Choice. This week only, exclusions apply.
That's why I pick Woolies.
Building beautiful homes for over 20 years. The Reef Properties. Mackay's respected home builder.
The new Ford Escape with remote start and stop from your mobile phone. It doesn't need an expensive hand model. The new everyday effortless Ford Escape. No advertising trickery required.
Back to school is easy at the Athlete's Foot with formal shoes from Ascent, Alpha, Rock, Harrison and Clark's, and sports shoes from Asics, Nike, New Balance and Saucony from $80. Back to school at the Athlete's Foot? Now that's fit.
Mackay turns to 7 News to keep up to date on local issues. And we want you to be part of it. If there's something happening in your street, your suburb, we want to know about it. Send us a message or drop us an email.
Thanks for joining us here on 7. Queensland's disaster recovery funding has been extended to the Whitsundays after some areas were washed out by ex-tropical cyclone Imogen. Excessive rainfall swamped the region as the tropical low made its way down the coast. Some roads, businesses and residential properties were damaged. Financial assistance is now available in 16 local government areas from Burke in the Gulf of Carpentaria to the Whitsundays to help the communities get back on their feet. Well, flake and chips go together like meat pies and sauce, but do you really know what type of shark you're eating? Marine conservationists are urging seafood lovers to give flake a break in favour of more sustainably fished alternatives.
Before opening a fish and chip shop, Dr Andrew Tobin worked in fisheries science. He uses gummy shark for the rare occasion he's asked for flake and believes most shark meat consumed in Australia is coming from a sustainable source.
Suggesting consumers may unknowingly eat protected or endangered species is just overstepping the mark.
But marine conservationists think otherwise.
Because of quirks in our national environment laws and our seafood labelling laws, endangered sharks can end up on your plate and you wouldn't even know it.
In Australia, there's no legal requirement to label what species of fish is for sale once it's been cooked. So consumers and possibly even retailers may not be aware of what they're eating or selling.
Endangered species are ending up in the market. They're probably coming onto your plate at some point.
With that in mind, the Australian Marine Conservation Society is launching a new campaign, calling on fish and chip lovers across the country to change up their order and give flake a break.
Ask the important questions, what fish you're eating, where it comes from.
But Dr Tobin says it's not that easy to pass off an endangered species as flake.
If our boat was to land fish in Townsville tomorrow, there's a high likelihood that our catch would be inspected while it's being unloaded.
Georgia Simpson, 7 News.
Digital prescriptions will soon become the new way for patients to get their medications. The eScript stores a record of patients' scripts digitally, and Queensland doctors will begin using it for their patients in 2 weeks.
It sounds as incomprehensible as a doctor's scrawl.
An electronic, coded, encrypted entity up into a cloud-based repository.
But for patients, it's as simple as getting a text message. E-scripts will be used by all doctors in Australia next month.
And an e-script is where you no longer have to have a piece of paper with your prescription written on it.
Digital prescriptions are a federal government initiative designed to help doctors and pharmacists to keep track of what medicines their patients are taking. When getting a prescription, your GP will provide you with a quick response code.
You can get it in an email or you can get it to your phone.
You then bring it to your pharmacist, who scans the unique code and dispenses your medication.
You can't lose your script. The script's very secure. Nobody can steal your script. Nobody can alter your script.
They won't have a wad of paperwork and things going out of date. Quite beneficial from the doctor's point of view because it's a very simple process. They just print and away it goes.
Queensland was the final state in Australia to legalise electronic prescriptions, and they will be available at all medical centres across the country on the 1st of February.
This is something that's been trialled in Victoria and New South Wales, the other states. We see that it's working.
Kathleen O'Connor, 7 News.
All right, time now to have a look at sport, and Nathan's back.
I am. I need a new belt, though. It was a big month.
Oh, you had a good holiday.
Food. Oh, yeah. Good paddock.
Oh, welcome back.
Thank you, Jo.
All right, in sport, a great weekend for our rep cricketers at home, Nate.
It certainly was. Mackay Whitsunday won both of their games at the under-18 zone titles, with 5 players named in the North Queensland rep team. More on that next, as wakeboarders from across the state display their top tricks.
We're letting a bunch of Aussies loose on the world's most epic golf course. Slap-a-ding-a-doo. Holy moly!
It's Brisbane Feb 1 on 7.
Here in Australia, we do summer like nowhere else.
Summer is definitely boots off and thongs on.
It's keeping our drinks cold.
And the barbie hot, because you never know who might drop in.
Summer is the smell of sunscreen.
The sound of a wicket.
It's even pulling on the gloves for a little bit of DIY. We'll help you make the most of Australia's favourite season.
Because here in Australia...
and here at Bunnings...
that's how we summer.
Ooh, been through a bit to get here? Worth it. Check out this finance offer on CHR.
Make any excuse this play clearance. Get a 3.9% comparison rate across the CHR range. Oh, what a feeling. Toyota.
Looking for great tasting premium Blue River ice that zips closed? Use it again and again and again in a convenient 2.5 kilo bag for easy storage. Local ice that won't clump. Zip it with bartender's choice from Blue River Ice. DGH. We're a part of this beautiful city, and supporting industry is what we do best.
Absolutely a wealth of experience.
How do you transit to Transit Tyres? Head out of town on Connors Road, past the train station, take the first street on the right, follow the signs. That's south on Connors Road, past the train station, and it's on the right. Right? Transit Tyres, Connors Road, past the train station, take the first street on the right, follow the signs.
When is a garden more than just a garden? Well, they're actually tending to their homestead, and this is a magical wonderland. Ryobi for all gardens, great and small. 1+ blower and line trimmer kit, $2.29, available at Bunnings Warehouse.
You've been seeing me on your screen for a while now. Just goes to show, we're here to stay. If you'd like to see the same dentist each time you visit, Paul and I are here for you. Come and get the conversation started at Paul Lang Dental.
Mayday! Mayday! The firefighter's trapped! Let's get him to the hospital! Right there now!
Put your game face on.
The entire season of Station 19 streaming for free on 7+.
This sport report brought to you by City Fitness.
Welcome back to 7 News. 5 Mackay Whitsunday cricketers have been named in the North Queensland under-18 side following the zone championships at Harrop Park over the weekend. In a rain-affected carnival, the team won both of their games but lost the overall championship by just the 1 point.
After months of delays, the Under-18 Championships were finally underway. Our finest cricketers from Rockhampton to Cairns battled it out in Mackay for the zone titles. North Queensland's rising stars finally getting their chance to shine.
Friday's games were cancelled, but Saturday and Sunday they got 2 good days of cricket in, which is important.
Central Queensland dominated the far north before holding off NQ in a dominant weekend. CQ's Sterling Smith taking out player of the tournament.
I think it was the first time that they've won a tournament together, and the feeling around the place, and it all goes well for the future of Central Queensland cricket.
Mackay Whitsunday was also in top form, comfortably downing NQ before a big win over the far north. But overall, they just fell short.
We didn't take out the championship. I think we lost by 1 point. So it's unfortunate, but you can't control the point system. So it was good to win 2 from 2 and get 5 players picked in the North Queensland side.
Players selected for the North Queensland side will now meet their southern rivals later this year before a Queensland state side is selected.
I had some discussions with Andy Bickle over the weekend. He's the coach of the Queensland Under-19s. They'll play in a trial against South Queensland in September.
Dana Lingston, 7 News.
The Mackay Meteorites Under-18s have just missed out on state championship glory over the weekend on the Gold Coast. The women's side made it to the grand final and battled it out with the Gold Coast Waves, but the home side were too dominant, winning by 20 points. Meanwhile, the Meteors were crushed in the men's division. They fell to last place in the comp. Wakeboarders from all across Queensland made their way to Mackay over the weekend for a friendly freestyle competition. There were no winners, but a whole lot of cash was splashed out for the best tricks.
The wake house was crawling with boarders on Saturday night, all keen to walk away with a heavier wallet.
My money goes real quick out of my hands, so I got riders left, right and centre.
It was the final Cash for Tricks event for the foreseeable future, a freestyle competition for riders of all ages and levels. But this event is no place for heated rivalry.
It's not about whether you're a pro rider or not. It's about, even if you're a little kid, it's about getting out there and just getting everyone involved together, learning new tricks, pushing themselves and having some fun.
Whether it's nailing a new stunt or gracefully stacking it, there were plenty of cash prizes up for grabs. But the rules were pretty flexible.
I don't have a format for it, so I don't set it like, oh, if they just do this, it's $5 or it's $10 or it's $50 or whatever. Somebody might get a crash and get slammed and I'll give them $30, $40 because it was awesome.
4-time world champion James Windsor flew up from the sunny coast for the event, taking the opportunity to show his old squad how it's done.
Some back 450s onto the rail. It's like more of a transfer, so just doing spins onto the rails.
And the pro wakeboarder has his eyes on a few up-and-comers. Connor Lawton has been on his radar for some time, and this event proves why.
I've seen him ride, I've watched him grow over the last couple of years, and he's one of the locals up here and he absolutely kills it.
Just really good to see 100% going to be some good ones coming out of here.
Jade Richards, 7 News.
James did well, but I deserve my $30 or $40 for the finest crash. The ribs are still hurting, by the way, so yeah.
All right, thanks for that, Nath. Stay with us after the break. Livio has all the details on the weather. He'll tell us what's happening with that cyclone.
What is your emergency?
The dam broke.
Help! 911, The Mudslide. Coming to Mondays on 7.
Give your summer a twist with everyday rewards. This week, spend $10 on fresh fruit and veg in a single transaction and collect 5 times points on your total shop. Simply shop and scan your card at Woolworths. Boost online now. T's and C's apply.
We're announcing something big. The big deal is now on at Mazda, and we're putting value on 2020 plate vehicles front and centre, like CX-8 Sport from $41,490 drive away. Search Mazda offers today.
Our famous Hello Summer sale is now on. Time to think about your summer lifestyle.
turn the expensive air conditioning off and live outside this summer. And to say hello to summer, we're giving a huge 30% off the entire Patio World range. That's right, 30% off patios, carports, aluminium decking, room enclosures, shutters, louvers and more. We have all the products and the know-how to change your summer living. 30% off, you could save thousands. Call Patio World now.
Neat's 3B Saver range is formulated to alleviate the discomfort of sweating and perspiration on different body areas. Face Saver for facial perspiration. Apply under makeup or sunscreen. Body Saver to alleviate sweating and chafing in the in-between areas. Hand Saver for sweaty hands, ideal for sportspeople meetings. Foot Saver for sweating feet and foot odour. Neat 3B Saver range, your head-to-toe perspiration solution. Available in all leading pharmacies.
Let's get to work. James Jacks, will you look at that?
I told you to pay attention to the road.
Clearly this wasn't my fault. Maybe not, but you've taken a wrong turn on this one. Your insurance policy is monstrous.
You know, if you had Budget Direct car insurance, you'd get a hire car while yours gets repaired. And you could save hundreds.
Are we there yet?
Not at fault. Get a hire car while yours gets repaired. Just give us the other driver's details. Budget Direct. Insurance solved.
Good evening, Livia Regano with tonight's weather. Tropical Cyclone Kimi has intensified to Category 2. The cyclone warning's current from Innisfail to Ayr, with a watch extending to Bowen. The system will probably continue moving south-southeasterly through the night before eventually stalling off the coast near Townsville. Top temperatures didn't make it past the high 20s today thanks to thick cloud, except on the coalfields where the naked sun raised the mercury to 34 degrees. Humidity at Mackay Airport this afternoon was 75%. Starting with the satellite loop, now you can see the vortex of Cyclone Kimi, now Category 2 system, and it's basically producing still quite heavy falls around the Cassowary coast, although also through the Whitsundays, and there's a second band of storms currently affecting the Eastern Downs. A warning was issued this afternoon and it's moving east as well. On today's chart, firstly the details of the cyclone. It's currently 165 kilometres north of Townsville and Category 2. It got upgraded at about 1 p.m. This chart was drawn at 10 a.m, hence we've still got Category 1 written on it. It is moving south-southeast, but don't panic because on tomorrow's chart it's likely to slow down before it even gets to Townsville, and in fact it might even weaken as it does it and turn around. Meanwhile, we've got this inland trough. That's going to break even bigger severe storms tomorrow, right around southeast Queensland, right up to the Wide Bay. On the outlook chart, the cyclone does a dogleg, moves north again as a low. That's the most likely scenario. Meanwhile, a cool southeasterly change pushes up the southern coast. Now, the latest from the Weather Bureau, the boating forecast for Mackay waters, easterly winds between 10 and 20 knots tomorrow, about 15 to 20 knots on Wednesday, and increasing to 20 to 25 knots from the southeast on Thursday. The moon's almost at first quarter, so the swing of the tides really come down. We've got low water first up tomorrow morning, followed by a much gentler rise to high tide. Central Coast and Whitsundays, a cloudy day with showers and possible thunderstorms. Mackay reaching 28 degrees, Bowen 29, Proserpine 28 again. Central Highlands and Coalfields, 40% chance of afternoon showers, and there could be severe thunderstorms. 35 the top for Emerald, Claremont the same, and Moranbah 32 degrees. Looking ahead for Mackay, everything hinges on the movements of Cyclone Kimi, which at this stage is expected to stall and head north again, never crossing the coast. For us, that means a few days of windy, showery weather. Well, that's all for this evening, my friends. Hope you had a nice weekend and a spectacular Monday. As always, it's been a pleasure to have your company, and thanks again for watching 7 Local Weather. I'll be back tomorrow. Hope you can join me. Now it's back to the team.
Great, thanks for that, Livio. And that's all from us for tonight. Thanks very much for your company. Just a reminder, you can watch a replay of 7 News on the 7 Plus app. From all of us here, enjoy your evenings. Good night.